Hello and welcome back. We are jumping back into things today, and I have to say, this one feels a little bit personal. I was looking through the notes, and I honestly felt a little attacked.
It usually does feel personal when we get into the psychology of change, doesn't it? I mean, that's where the real work happens.
It does, but this one really hits on a nerve that I think, almost everyone feels at some point. We're looking at that very specific, very fragile moment, the moment you decide you want to change something.
Oh, yeah.
You know that feeling, right? You buy the book, you get the gym membership, you decide, okay, this is it. This is the year I visualize my success. You're all fired up. And then, well, Tuesday happens.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
The silent killer of so many dreams.
Exactly. That weekend energy just evaporates. The real world hits. You don't see any immediate results. And that little voice just starts to creep in.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're looking at beginner experiences and breakthroughs. We're pulling from Genevieve Barron's classic, Your Invisible Power, which is just one of the absolute cornerstones of this kind of work.
A real foundational text.
It really is. But we're also layering in some heavy hitters to keep us, grounded. We've got Stoic philosophy, we're touching on the Bhagavad Gita, and we're bringing in modern cognitive science to back it all up.
It's a powerful mix. And really, the problem we're tackling today is something we could call the beginner's paradox.
The beginner's paradox.
Good.
That sounds like a chapter title in a physics textbook or something.
It could be. The idea is this. The urgency you feel to change your life, that I need this to happen now, energy, is actually the very thing that pushes the result further away.
So my desire for the result is what's preventing the result.
In a way, yes. It's incredibly frustrating, I know.
It feels completely unfair. You're saying my desire to fix things is actually what's breaking them.
It's more like
Yeah.
the quality of that desire matters. And Genevieve Barron, she has a very specific diagnosis for this. She calls it mental hurry.
Mental hurry.
And here's the kicker. And this is something I think we really need to sit with. She explicitly defines hurry, not just as rushing or moving fast, but as a form of fear.
Wow, okay. Hurry is fear. That's a heavy concept to start with. I usually just think of hurry as, well, being efficient or, just being late for something.
And we're going to unpack that distinction because it is absolutely crucial.
Okay, but before we do, I just want to say, if this episode helps you, please hit like and subscribe for the next one. We're really trying to build a roadmap here, and today is all about that very first phase. It's about moving from trying really hard to what you called steady knowing.
Steady knowing. That's the destination.
So let's go back to Barron. Mental hurry. When I think of hurry, I think of me running through an airport because I spent way too much time getting coffee. I don't think, oh, I'm afraid. I just think, I'm late. What's she getting at?
Well, let's use that airport scenario. Why are you running?
Because the gate is about to close.
And if the gate closes, what happens?
I miss my flight. Then I miss the meeting. There are consequences.
Exactly. Consequences. You are afraid of a negative outcome. You're afraid of loss. Barron argues that in the mental realm, when we're trying to build something new, a new habit, a new reality, that feeling of hurry is a signal to your brain that you believe you're running out of time.
Or that there isn't enough to go around.
Precisely. It's an acknowledgement of limitation. It's a
Yeah.
scarcity mindset, just dressed up to look like productivity.
That's a great way to put it. Scarcity disguised as productivity.
Right. Barron says the mind is this center for, her words, divine operation, which is a very early 20th century way of saying it's where the creative work happens. But she insists it requires order. She quotes that old proverb, order is heaven's first law.
And hurry is the opposite of order. It's chaos.
It's chaos, and you can't create anything lasting in a state of chaos.
She has a fantastic analogy for this in the book, the camera shutter. Now, for some of our listeners who only know iPhones, we're talking about old school film cameras here.
Yes, and it's the perfect metaphor for how visualization can work. Imagine you're taking a long exposure photograph. To get a really sharp, clear picture, the film needs to be exposed to the light, but the camera itself must be absolutely still.
Right.
Now, if you're shaking the camera because you're anxious or you're rushing to get the shot before the sun goes down, what happens to the final image?
You just get a blurry mess. It's unusable. It's just streaks of light, and you can't even tell what you were trying to capture.
Exactly. And Barron says that's what most beginners are doing with their minds. They are anxiously vibrating with this mental hurry, trying to force a picture of success into being. But because of that anxious vibration, the mold they're making in their mind is completely blurred.
So the universe or your subconscious, whatever you want to call it, it can't fill a mold that keeps shaking and changing its shape.
How could it? It's like trying to pour concrete into a form that's shaking during an earthquake. You just get a useless lump.
That makes so much sense. We're vibrating with, I hope this works, I hope this works, please, please work. And that vibration, that hope, is actually the blur.
And this isn't just metaphysics. I mean, if we look at modern psychology, it's the same thing. When you're in a state of stress or high urgency, what does your brain do? It releases cortisol. You literally enter a different cognitive state.
Survival mode.
You're in survival mode. You lose access to your prefrontal cortex, the creative, planning, long-term thinking part of your brain, and you absolutely cannot create a new future when your entire biology is screaming that you're just trying to survive the present moment.
So hurry is fear. I'm writing that down. That's a big one. It really challenges the whole hustle culture narrative, doesn't it? The idea that if you aren't sprinting, you must be failing.
It completely flips it on its head. Hustle culture says move fast and break things. Barron is saying move slow and build things. It reminds me of that quote from Epictetus we have in the notes.
Oh, with the fig tree. I love this one because it is so counterintuitive to how we live our lives now.
Laid out for us.
So, Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, who, by the way, was a slave, so he knew a thing or two about patience and lacking control, he says that nothing great is created suddenly. He says, if you tell me you want a fig, I'll tell you, okay, but there must be time. First, let the tree blossom, then let it bear fruit, and only then let the fruit ripen.
But we want the fig now. We want the same-day delivery fig from Amazon.
We do. We get annoyed if a web page takes more than, 2 seconds to load. We've lost all patience for the process.
And Epictetus would say that is completely against nature. If you try to rip that fig off the branch before it's ripe, you don't get a fig. You get a sour, useless thing. And you probably damage the tree in the process.
And Barron is saying the same thing. The mental picture is the seed. You have to let it take root in a calm, ordered mentality before you can expect any fruit. If you keep digging it up or trying to pull on it, you just ruin the whole thing. Okay, so let's say we accept that. We slow down, we stop the mental hurry, we take a breath, but we are still beginners, and we're still doing the work, and we are looking for results because, we're human beings and we like to see that what we're doing is working.
Of course.
What should we actually be looking for? Because I think a lot of people quit because they're looking for the wrong sign. They're looking for the lottery win, and they're missing all the actual progress that's happening under the surface.
You're absolutely right. This brings us to what early progress actually looks like.
Yeah.
Beginners are always looking for the check in the mail. They're looking for that huge, massive external shift. I visualized a new job, so where's my offer letter?
Or I visualized having abs, so why is my stomach still soft?
Right. But the reality is, progress starts internally. Always. If you wait for the external proof to show up first, you will quit way too soon. We've identified 4 subtle signs from Barron's work and the supporting research that show it's actually working.
Okay, let's walk through these. Sign the first. Subtle changes in your attention.
This is where we get into the reticular activating system, or the RAS.
The RAS. We've talked about this before, but can you explain it for new listeners? It's basically the bouncer at the nightclub of your brain. Right.
That's a perfect way to put it. Your brain is just bombarded with millions of bits of data every single second. Sounds, lights, smells, sensations. If you tried to process all of it, you'd go insane.
Right.
So the RAS is a bundle of nerves at your brainstem that acts as a filter. It screens out 99% of that data and only lets in what it thinks is important to you.
And normally important means, danger or someone just said my name.
Or what I am currently focused on. When you start holding a steady mental picture without that feeling of hurry, you are essentially reprogramming your RAS. You're giving the bouncer a new guest list.
Okay.
So the very first sign of progress is that you just start noticing things you didn't see before. You'll notice a book on a shelf at a friend's house that has the exact answer you need. You'll overhear a conversation in a coffee shop that's directly related to your goal.
And it feels like a coincidence. You think, oh, that's weird. I was just thinking about that.
But it isn't a coincidence. It's alignment. That book was on the shelf yesterday. That conversation was probably happening last week. But you were blind and deaf to it because your RAS wasn't tuned to that frequency. Now it is. That's the first little green shoot breaking through the soil.
I love that. So don't look for the money. Look for the opportunity that could lead to the money, an opportunity you would have completely missed yesterday.
Exactly. It's a shift in perception first. Okay, sign the next. Better choices and follow through. But here's the key part. Without needing willpower.
Without willpower. That sounds a little too good to be true. Usually doing the right thing feels like a huge battle with yourself.
And it is, when you're forcing it. But think about it. When you truly start to identify with a new reality,
Hmm.
let's say you're visualizing yourself as a healthy, athletic person, and you're doing it properly, with feeling, you actually start to change your identity at a deep level.
So you don't have to fight yourself to choose the salad over the junk food.
It starts to feel like a natural preference. The thought process changes. It's not, ooh, I have to eat this because I'm on a diet. It's, I'm the kind of person who enjoys eating this kind of food.
That's a huge shift.
It's massive. If you find yourself naturally gravitating toward doing the work or naturally turning off the television to read a book, that's a huge sign. It means the mold is setting, your subconscious is starting to drive the bus, and you're not white-knuckling it anymore.
And if you are still white-knuckling it, you're probably still in that hurry mode. You're still in resistance.
You are resisting yourself.
Okay.
Sign the next one.
Fewer contradictions.
This is a really big one for Behrend. She talks a lot about what she calls the inverted thought.
The inverted thought. It sounds like a painful yoga pose.
It's less pleasant than yoga, for sure. It's when you spend 10 minutes in the morning visualizing abundance, you see the wealth, you feel the freedom, and then you spend the rest of your day saying things like, oh, I can't afford that, or I'll never get out of debt, or the economy is just terrible.
Those are inverted thoughts. They're just canceling out all the good work you did.
They do more than just cancel it out. Think of it like wave physics. If you have a wave going up, and then you send an equal wave going down, they collide, and the water just goes flat. You get zero amplitude.
Destructive interference.
Exactly. So a real sign of progress isn't that you're suddenly rich. It's that you catch yourself about to say, I can't afford it, and you just stop. Or even better, that thought just stops coming up as often. You stop canceling your own order with the universe.
That's profound. It's like you're patching the leaks in the boat. You're not just bailing water faster anymore.
Yes. And finally, the last sign. Increased calm confidence. This goes right back to the lack of hurry. You find yourself stopping the worry about when it's all going to happen. You start to feel a sense of possession. You just know it's coming, so you don't need to check the tracking number every 5 minutes.
Tracking number. I do that with packages all the time. Just refresh, refresh, refresh. But doing that with your life goals, yeah, that's just pure anxiety.
It is. And anxiety is the opposite of faith. If you ordered a package from a company you completely trust, you wouldn't worry about it. You just know it's on the truck.
Yeah.
When you reach that state with your goals, that it's on the truck feeling, that is the breakthrough, even if the box hasn't physically arrived yet.
Okay, so those are the signs. But let's be real. Most people don't make it that far. They start, they get excited, and then they hit what you've called the winter river phase.
The winter river.
I really like this image. Can you explain why we call it that?
Sure. Imagine a really wide river in the dead of winter. The surface is frozen, solid. It just looks like a massive sheet of ice. If you're standing on the bank looking at it, it seems like nothing is moving at all. It looks dead.
But underneath the ice.
But underneath the ice, the current is still flowing, maybe even faster than usual. It's alive, it's moving. But the beginner only sees the frozen surface.
All right, they look at their life and they say, nothing is changing, my bank account is the same, my weight is the same, this isn't working. They mistake the frozen surface for the reality of the current.
And because of that, they fall into these traps. We've identified 5 major traps for beginners.
Okay, trap the first. And I am so guilty of this one, checking the results constantly.
The metaphor here is always gardening. Imagine you plant a seed. You're so excited about it, you water it, you visualize this big, beautiful plant. So the next morning, what do? You go out and you dig it up to see if it has roots yet.
You kill it.
You kill it. You expose it to the light before it's ready. Every time you anxiously analyze your progress, is it working yet? How about now? Is it working now? You are digging up that seed. You are introducing doubt and fear. Behrend says you have to trust the process and just leave it alone.
That's so hard to do in our data-driven world. We have analytics for everything. We want a dashboard for our spiritual growth.
We really do. But the mind works on an organic timeline, not a digital one. Okay, trap the next. Switching your pictures too quickly.
The shiny object syndrome. Today I want to be a writer. No, wait, a musician. No, an entrepreneur. Ooh, maybe a crypto trader.
Behrend is very, very strict about this. She says you are molding a plastic substance. Not plastic like a credit card, but plastic as in moldable, like clay. If you keep changing the mold every 2 days, all you get is a shapeless blob.
You confuse the universe. Or at least you confuse yourself.
You confuse yourself. It's like ordering at a restaurant and changing your mind 3 times before the waiter can even leave the table. you're probably not going to get what you really want.
Or the kitchen just gives up and sends you a glass of water.
Exactly. Trap the next. Forcing emotion. This is an interesting one because a lot of the pop culture law of attraction stuff says you have to feel it and pump yourself up. You have to jump around and scream, "I'm a millionaire."
Right. Get hyped.
And that is a huge misunderstanding. It's what we might call toxic positivity or just hype. Barron's direct quote is, "Avoid all strenuous effort." If you are straining to feel happy or straining to feel wealthy, that strain is actually a signal of resistance. It means you don't really believe it.
Strain indicates resistance. That's a gem. So if I'm sitting there clenching my teeth trying to feel rich, I'm actually just screaming to my brain, I am so broken, I am panicking about it.
That's it. Your subconscious picks up on the panic, not the word rich. The feeling you're actually aiming for isn't hype. It's relief. It's ease. It's the feeling of taking off a pair of tight shoes at the end of a long day. Oh, it's done. That's the frequency you want.
Okay, that makes so much sense. Which brings us to trap the next one, the lottery ticket mentality.
This is the, "I'll give this a week and see if I win" mindset.
Treating this whole practice like it's a gamble.
Exactly. I'll try visualization. You don't try gravity. You respect its laws. You don't try electricity. You learn how to use it. If you treat it like a gamble, you're already assuming the odds are stacked against you. You're assuming failure is the default.
And the final trap, quitting after a stall.
And this one is so well documented in modern science. James Clear talks about it a lot, as do many others. They call it the plateau of latent potential.
Sounds fancy.
It just means there's always a lag time. You put in the work, and the line on the graph stays flat. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, it shoots up. It's an exponential curve, not a linear one.
And most people quit during the lag time.
They quit right before the breakthrough because the external world hasn't caught up to all the internal work they've been doing. It's that classic image of the miner digging for diamonds who stops and turns back just 1 inch before hitting the vein.
Every single time. It's tragic because usually that stall, that feeling of being stuck, is the sign that the breakthrough is accumulating pressure, ready to pop.
Exactly.
So how do we fix this? We know the traps, we know what the real signs of progress look like, but how do we actually establish that stability we talked about, the stability principle?
Right, and the solution is radical simplicity. We tend to overcomplicate things. We think, my life is a mess, so I need a 10-step morning routine and a vision board the size of my wall. But for the beginner, Barron and the Stoics, for that matter, suggest the opposite.
Simplicity.
We boil it down to 3 things. 1 picture, 1 feeling, and 1 proof action.
Okay, let's break those down. 1 picture.
Choose one and only one. Clear scene. And it shouldn't be a movie. It's not a montage of your whole new life. It's one still frame that implies success.
Why just 1? Why not visualize everything?
Focus. If you have 10 goals, your energy is scattered in 10 directions. If you have 1 picture, you create a laser beam. Keep it simple. Don't clutter the mental workshop. The more details you add, the more you risk that blurry camera effect again.
Got it. 1 picture. Then 1 feeling word.
This is the antidote to the forcing emotion trap. Don't try to generate some complex emotional state. Just pick a single word that anchors you to the picture. Freedom, security, ease, proud, whatever it is. When you bring the picture to mind, just say that word to yourself. It grounds the image in an emotion without the strain.
I like that. And the third one, which I think is the real game changer, 1 proof action. This is where we bring in embodied cognition.
This is the bridge. This is what makes it real. You can't just think. You must also do. But, and this is a critical part, you don't have to do everything. You just need 1 small physical action that aligns with that mental picture. It proves to your own nervous system that you're serious about this.
Can you get into the science of that a little? Why does 1 tiny action matter so much to the brain?
It's a field called embodied cognition. The core idea is that our thoughts aren't just in our head. They are deeply influenced by our body's posture and actions. If you force yourself to smile, for example, you can actually start to feel happier.
The power pose thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your body is constantly sending signals to your brain. So if you take a small physical action that aligns with your goal, you're sending a powerful signal back up the chain that says, hey, we're actually doing this. This is real now.
Okay, let's make it concrete. We have 3 examples. Let's start with the career one.
Okay, so let's say your goal is to be a leader, maybe a CEO one day. The trap is visualizing being the CEO in the morning, but then showing up to your current job and acting like a bored, resentful employee. That's a huge contradiction.
Right. You're visualizing success, but you're acting out failure all day long.
So the fix is the proof action. You practice what's called shipping small proof. Even if you're an intern, you do your work with the precision and care of a CEO. The specific proof action might be something as simple as, I will organize my desk perfectly every single morning before I start working.
That's it. Just organizing your desk. That sounds so trivial.
It seems trivial, but think about the psychology. A clean, ordered desk makes you feel in control. A CEO is in control of their environment. By taking that physical action, you are signaling to your brain, I'm the kind of person who has order and is in charge of their domain. It aligns the physical reality with the mental picture.
I love that. It's a form of acting as if, but in a microscopic way that you can actually control today. You can't control the company's stock price, but you can control your desk.
You operate within your circle of control. That's pure stoicism.
Okay, what about relationships? This is always a tricky one for people.
The trap here is visualizing a loving, peaceful partnership, but then reacting with jealousy or anger the second your partner leaves a sock on the floor.
The sock on the floor, a classic trigger.
We all have our triggers.
Hmm.
But the Stoics would say this is a failure to distinguish what is up to us and what is not. You can't control your partner. You can't control the sock. You can only control your judgment about the sock.
So what's the proof action in that case?
The proof action is the pause. You decide ahead of time, when I feel that flash of irritation, I will take one single deep breath before I speak. That's it. That is the physical action.
Just one breath.
Just one. In that breath, you are proving to yourself that you are a person who responds with intention, not one who reacts with anger. You're building the identity of a peaceful partner. It removes the contradiction. You can't visualize a peaceful home and then scream about laundry. The deep breath bridges that gap.
And the third example, health or habits.
The trap is obvious. Visualizing running a marathon but spending all your time on the couch waiting for inspiration to magically strike.
Waiting to feel like it, which is the death of all fitness goals.
Inspiration is for amateurs. The rest of us just show up. The proof action here is incredibly simple. Put on your running shoes.
Just put them on. I don't even have to go for a run.
You don't even have to run. Just put on the shoes and tie the laces.
This reminds me of that idea from Atomic Habits, the 2-minute rule.
It's the exact same principle. It's embodied cognition again. When you're wearing running shoes, you feel different than when you're wearing fuzzy slippers. You're signaling to your brain, we are runners. And, what usually happens is that once the shoes are on, the biggest point of friction is gone, and you'll probably go for the run anyway.
Right.
But the success, and this is crucial, the success is defined as just putting the shoes on. That's the win for the day.
That just lowers the bar so much. It takes all the pressure off.
It eliminates the mental hurry and the fear of failure. Anyone can tie a shoe. You can't fail at that. It guarantees a win.
Okay, this is all fantastic theory, but we promised a practical roadmap. So we're going to walk through a specific protocol. We're calling this the beginner breakthrough protocol.
Right. This is a 6-step checklist. Something you can do in 5 minutes in the morning. It integrates everything we've talked about. Behrend, Stoicism, modern science.
I'm going to be the guinea pig. Walk me through it right now.
Okay. First up, choose one simple finished scene. Just one. Not the whole movie, just the handshake, the signature, the smile on your face. A single freeze frame.
Okay. I'm picturing myself holding the final printed copy of my book, just holding it into my hand.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's static. The work is done. Next step. Choose one feeling word. What is the dominant emotion you feel in that scene?
Relief. 100%. Just relief.
Good. Lock that word in. Relief. Now, moving on to step 3. Choose one proof action you will do today. It has to be small, physical, and something you can do almost immediately.
Okay, I'll write for an hour.
Too big. That can trigger resistance. Smaller. Much smaller.
Okay, I will open the document and type one single sentence.
Perfect. Almost zero friction. It proves you're a writer, but it doesn't trigger the fear of the blank page. Next step. Choose one phrase you will speak today that matches this new reality. An affirmation, but it has to feel natural and believable to you.
I am a best-selling author.
Does that feel true right now in your gut?
No, not really.
Don't say it. It'll just create a contradiction in your mind. Pick something that feels true now.
How about, I am becoming a writer one sentence at a time.
Much better. Or even just, I am showing up to the work.
I am showing up. I like that. It's simple and it's true.
Next step. Write down one small sign of progress you noticed today. This is to train your RAS. You have to force yourself to find one thing that went right or one small coincidence.
Okay, I did notice a friend posted online about a writing contest earlier. That feels like a sign.
Excellent. Write it down, acknowledge it, and finally, the last step. Remove one contradiction. Identify one thing you do, a complaint, a bad habit, a thought loop that cancels out your work, and just decide to stop it for today.
I complain about being tired every time I sit down to write. It's like a ritual.
There it is. That complaint tells your brain, writing is draining. Writing makes me tired. That's an inverted thought. Stop that, just for today.
Just for today. That makes it feel manageable.
That's the whole key. You can do almost anything for just one day, and then you wake up tomorrow and you just do it again.
Okay, so we have the protocol. But even with a map, people can get lost. Let's cover some of the really common mistakes, the little gotchas that trip people up.
For sure. We've touched on some, but let's refine them. First mistake, mistaking excitement for belief.
Ah, the hype trap again.
Yes. Beginners think if they're jumping up and down with excitement, they have strong faith. But excitement is actually a high arousal, high stress state. It burns out very quickly. You can't stay hyped for a year.
So what's the alternative?
Calm conviction. Belief is quiet. It's the mountain, not the firework. The mountain doesn't have to scream, "I'm here." It just is.
Belief is the mountain, not the firework. I like that. Okay, what's next?
Inconsistency in practice. We do it for 3 days, then we feel good, so we skip 2, then we feel bad, so we do it once more. It's sporadic.
And the thanks for that.
Link it to an existing habit.
Yeah.
This is habit stacking. You already brush your teeth every morning. So brush your teeth, then visualize. You already make coffee. Make coffee, then visualize. Don't rely on your memory or motivation. Rely on the routine. Make it mechanical until it becomes magical.
I love that. Mistake the next. This is a big one for me. Letting the how kill the what.
Oh, worrying about all the logistics. I want to start a business, but I don't know how to file the tax forms or build a website, so I won't even start visualizing the success.
Right. You get completely paralyzed by the how. You're trying to solve problems you don't even have yet.
And Barron calls this trusting the law of supply. She says if you hold the vision of the end result, the means will present themselves. Your job is the what. The universe or life or whatever will help with the how. If you try to micromanage the universe, you're right back in hurry and fear.
Mistake the next. Isolating the practice.
This is being a monk in the morning and a monster in the evening. You visualize peace and calm at 7 a.m., but then you're screaming at someone in traffic at 8 a.m.
So the practice doesn't travel with you. You leave it on the meditation cushion.
Exactly. You have to carry that feeling word, that relief or ease with you into the grocery store, into traffic, into that stressful meeting. It has to be integrated. Otherwise, it's just a nice hobby, not a true transformation.
And the final mistake, judging the day by the lack of harvest.
We go right back to the seed analogy. If you judge your success each day by asking, did I get the thing I wanted today? You're going to feel like a failure most of the time. Because on most days, the harvest doesn't happen.
So what's the fix? How do you score the game differently?
You judge the day by the quality of the seeds you planted. Did you do your visualization? Did you do your one proof action? Did you remove your one contradiction? If you did those things, then it was a successful day, period. You won.
That shifts the scoreboard completely. You can win every single day if the game is just, did I plant the seeds well?
And if you win every day by that metric, eventually the harvest takes care of itself. You can't force the fruit to grow. You can only tend to the tree.
This has been incredibly densely packed. I feel like I need to go back and re-listen to this myself just to catch everything. Let's do a quick recap to try and lock it all in.
Sounds good. Let's hit the high points. First, Barron teaches that hurry is actually fear. We have to eliminate it to create a clear mental mold.
Right. And early progress is almost always internal. You should be looking for shifts in your attention and less internal conflict, not just checks in the mail.
Exactly. We also get stuck when we dig up the seeds to check for roots. Just trust the process.
And stability comes from radical simplicity. One picture, one feeling, one action.
Those proof actions are the bridge. They're what translate the mental work into the physical world.
And removing the contradictions, the inverted thoughts, is just as important, maybe even more important than the visualization itself.
And finally, calm consistency wins. The lamp in a windless place will burn much longer than the wildfire.
That is the roadmap. And I know we talked a lot about having that one picture today, but we didn't really get into the specifics of how to build that picture properly.
No, we didn't. And that's really an art form in itself, constructing a mental scene that actually impacts the subconscious. It requires specific mechanics. You can't just daydream. There's the real technique to it.
Which is exactly why that's what we're going to cover next time.
Yeah.
we're going to explore how to build the mental picture. Barron has some very specific architectural advice for the mind.
It's the blueprint phase. We're going to get very technical and very practical.
I can't wait. Listen, thank you for hanging out with us and going through all this today.
It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for being here. If you want the full series, check the playlist, and please like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.